From the Samsung Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
He used to work for the Housing Authority. He still works for Dominican House, but claims his firing from one was aimed to discredit the other. Victor Perez fires back. Our top story on News 13 for this Friday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Baczynski. Well, they've butted heads with local officials over immigration law in the past. Now, Hazleton's Dominican House leaders think a story that made headlines this week shouldn't have been connected to the resource for local immigrants. Christina Papa is live in the studio to tell us how it all plays out. Christina?
Well, Kathy, the Dominican House is reopening a new location within a couple of weeks. The organization's president hopes recent headlines about him won't affect hard work that has been put into the building in the multicultural group. Victor Perez has devoted hours of his time to the Dominican House in Hazleton, but for the past 2 years, he has also worked in the Hazleton Housing Authority. Perez made newspaper headlines earlier this week when he was fired from that position. Perez is upset for two reasons. First, he says his firing was unjust. Secondly, he's upset about the Standard Speaker's news coverage. He says the firing was linked to the Dominican House, and that's not acceptable. The editor of the Standard Speaker, Mark Catcher, told News 13 today, quote, "Because Victor Perez is a leader in the community, this went above and beyond normal personnel issues." He added, because it was a public position, there is a right to know factor as well. Perez says his job at HHA was a completely separate matter and should not have been linked to his work at the Dominican House.
It is a conspiracy from the city and some authorities from the Pennsylvania state regarding the Dominican House. They want to destroy the Dominican House.
The Housing Authority's board unanimously voted to dismiss Perez during a meeting last week after reviewing his employee evaluation. Today, News 13 spoke with Commission member Charles Gennaro. He said they made their decision on, quote, strict, concise evidence. He added that we, board members, have no position or desire to criticize employees or anyone publicly.
We have the right to participate in a nonprofit organization like a Dominican House of Hazleton. If that was the reason they remove it, they prefer to remove myself, I am proud of that. The board says they have filed proof of this dismissal if anyone chooses to do an investigation. Meanwhile, Perez says once building inspection is okayed, he will be moving forward to reopen that Dominican House on Laurel Street as soon as possible. Kathy?
A lot of differing opinions there. Thanks a lot, Christina. Well, an apartment fire that erupted in Hazleton this afternoon forced the building's tenants to evacuate. As fire crews arrived on the scene, smoke to be seen pouring out of the windows on the apartment building's top floor. Fire officials say the smoky blaze started on the third floor of this home in the 700 block of West Diamond Avenue. There were several people in the building at the time that fire broke out, but crews say they were able to get out safely.
Crews got in there. We got in there really quick with an air and water extinguisher to see what was burning as other crews were preparing to advance a hose. And we found that it was a waste paper basket that was accidentally set on fire when the gentleman dumped his ashtray in. So right now it was confined to the waste paper basket. It did scorch a little bit of the wall. The house is livable. There's no water or smoke damage.
We know the people that own the place, and we know the people that are in the house, so we were trying to make sure that everybody got out okay.
First, reaction is it's getting closer and closer because the last one was on Grand Street, and I just keep thinking the crime, and fires and robberies, stabbings. It's just one right after another. Everything is just starting to group itself together. I didn't know what to think, honestly.
Now, fortunately, all of the tenants were allowed back into the home shortly after fire crews had that situation under control. Nobody was hurt. Well, it was a 2-week-long event, but tomorrow the Schuylkill County-wide fall cleanup is coming to an end. And as Matthew Petrillo tells us, officials calling it a big success.
Fall is now with us, and what better way to give your house a nice fall cleaning than emptying all your unwanted stuff to the county? And with a dozen sites throughout, it's pretty easy to do. They accept just about everything from old couches,
electronics, scrap metal, household items such as carpet, sofas, chairs, and some of the stuff there is a charge for.
Did you come out today to recycle your dog?
No, definitely not. She's priceless. No, a dehumidifier that was recalled. Cool. Well, I just didn't want it to lay around, and it's no good to put it out for the garbage,
That's what brought Laurie Gretzky out.
It's going to either recycling it or to where they need it to go, instead of just, some people unfortunately dump it on sides of dirt roads and stuff, and it's not a good thing.
Electronics don't cost anything, but some items like couches and desks may be a few bucks. But officials say it's way cheaper doing it through the county.
Computer components, TV components, they're going to be broken down for the precious metals. It's better than having them go in the ground, rather have the precious metals extracted from them. So yeah, it's very good. I'd rather see the gold and back into the economy.
Now this truck may look pretty empty. It only has a few old TVs and computers, but it's actually the third truck they got this week, and it only carries electronics.
I see it by the end of the day filling up.
Electronics is by far the biggest item brought in.
If you haven't been able to get to any of the sites yet, there's still time. Some locations are opened on Saturday. We'll have a full list of those at our website, SSPTV.com. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Schuylkill Haven.
And still ahead on News 13, our fantastic stretch of September days is going to continue right into October. We'll tell you about it in News 13 weather. And then a day off from school makes for a day full of fun at one local YMCA. We'll take you there coming up on News 13. Well, the kids are calling it Fun Friday. Today was an Act 80 day for the Hazleton Area School District, and students spent their first day off from new school term hanging out with friends at a special day camp at the YMCA in Hazleton. Well, dozens of kids had a blast playing in the Wise Gym today. The organization holds a special holiday camp for kids on days like today when they don't have any school. Holiday camp involves a full day of fun activities. Kids can come to the Y where they can still hang out with their buddies from school while mom and dad go to work. There's a fee for the program, and campers do need to be members to attend the event. The director of the event says it's always a big hit with the kids.
They do have fun, and they have so much energy, and they can just be in the gym and have activities. We have rock climbing, we do swimming, obviously they get a lunch, and a lot of times it's just activities led by the instructors for the kids to do here in the gymnasium.
I got to see everybody from Central Camp that I missed. Yeah, I made lots of friends today that I never met before.
And the camp will be held throughout the school year. YMCA employees say plenty of kids sign up for the holiday camp, especially for snow days. Well, the borough that calls itself the little town that could is having a party. The all-day event kicks off at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning and will feature a full lineup of fun. Some highlights of the day include the bountiful breakfast at St. Ambrose Roman Catholic Church, a classic car show, a finale concert you simply can't miss, and of course, to make sure to check out the steam engine number 113, the only anthracite-burning locomotive in the country. That'll be on display throughout the day. The theme for the 25th anniversary is cooperation and volunteerism.
This is our new t-shirt this year. Our theme is spread the spirit of community service and volunteerism. Spreading the spirit is important because for 25 years we've volunteered, and look what we've accomplished. The day is teeming with people, and if each person would take time and volunteer an hour someplace it's needed, we could change the world.
Borough Day began as a celebration for the former Reading Railroad train station on Main Street, which is currently Borough Hall. 25 years later, trains are still the highlight of the event with round-trip excursions to Port Carbon. It's time now for our regional weather for the National Weather Service. Checking out the radar, that's just round reflection up there, but nothing else. But open, wide skies, that translates to plenty of sunshine and some cool nighttime temperatures. Our creative condition makes me want to sing Shiny Happy People. It's by Isabella Vallada, a student at Valley Elementary, and she drew one big, beautiful rainbow. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. And since we're celebrating Bloomsburg Fair this week, let's check the forecast. Look at all those scrumptious looking veggies. Lots of nice red peppers there. For tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 48 degrees. Then for Saturday, sunny with a high near 67. It'll be mostly clear at night with a low around 47 degrees. And heading on over to Schuylkill County, partly cloudy tonight with a low around 46. Then for Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 69 degrees, partly cloudy at night with a low around 46.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Hazleton Standard Speaker will be hosting Taste of Home Cooking School September 28th at the Wilty Center. All in attendance will receive goodie bags with coupons and surprises. A vendor expo will begin at 3, and a culinary specialist will take the stage at 5. Tickets are now available by calling 570-501-3505. Also tonight, the 4th annual Beat MPS Golf Scramble for Team San Filippo Foundation will be held Saturday, October 5th at Sugarloaf Golf Club. The Capus family will be hosting the event, and they are looking for sponsors and golfers. More info, please call 570-384-4097. And finally, the Hazel Township Fire and Rescue Company will be holding a pasta dinner Saturday, September 28th from 4 to 7. Dinner includes pasta, meatballs, bread, salad, drinks, and desserts. For more info, please call 570-454-3411. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Joan P. Sullivan, formerly of Hazelton. Mass is Monday at 10 a.m. at the Holy Rosary Church. Friends may call Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. And Hazel P. Henninger of Mahanoy City. The David G. Jarrett Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazelton. Free delivery to all local funeral homes. Call 570-454-0111. Also by Doves of White, serving Schuylkill and surrounding counties. 570-205-1597. And also by Leonard's Fine Dining, 615 East Broad Street in Hazelton. In your time of need, Leonard's can help you plan a funeral brunch or luncheon. Call 570-501-9600.
SSPTV Sports on News 13.
Can the Hazelton area Cougars and the Marion Colts keep it going? They won their first games of the season last week. That's the headline question going into week 5 of the high school football season. And it's going to be another really nice night in the last weekend of September to be outside and watch some high school football. And you've got some choices here, right here in town at Harmon Geist. You got the Pittston Patriots coming in, another winnable game for the Cougars. They won their first game of the season against Williamsport last week, and they very easily could make it 2 in a row against Pittston, and that would do wonders for the Cougars' morale. So we'll see what happens tonight. Pittston, Hazelton area, Patriots are 1-3 as well, so certainly a toss-up game that the Cougars could win. Valley West will try to rebound after getting spanked by Berwick, and the Bulldogs will try to keep it going at Crispin Field tonight against Selinsgrove. Tunkhannock and Crestwood, Valley View and Scranton, Pocono Mountain West and East Stroudsburg, your other key games in the northern half of what is the northeast corridor of Pennsylvania. Let's go south to the Schuylkill League, where the Marion Colts, as we said, will be hosting the Spartans of North Schuylkill. Stan Dukowski's team is going to try to make it 2 in a row. Meanwhile, Monoy and Minersville tangle. Anvil Cleona travels up 81 to take on Tamaqua. Pottsville goes down to Muhlenberg. Nativity hosts Perkiomen Valley. And Whitehall and Parkland square off in what could be the most interesting game of the night down in the Lehigh Valley. Tomorrow, keep your eye on East Stroudsburg South at Pocono Mountain East. The Williamsport Millionaires, who played the Cougars and got knocked off by them a week ago, they're up in the back mountain to take on Dallas. In 2 weeks, that's where the Cougars will be, so we'll learn something from there. Other sports action to tell you about: Crestwood and Coughlin in field hockey, the original Hazelton area home game scheduled for today. Well, they couldn't play because of the football game tonight, so that game is moved to October the 18th. In boys soccer, Dallas Hazelton area, that's moved to tomorrow morning, actually, 11 o'clock down at Harmon Geist. MMI and GAR is on for today. Girls soccer, Nanticoke in town to take on the Lady Cougars. That's the reason why the boys had to be moved. And in volleyball, a key Wyoming Valley Conference matchup between Crestwood and Hazelton area just got underway down at Hazelton Area High School, so we'll wait and see what that's about. The Tampa Bay Rays made it 3 in a row over the Yankees, clean sweep, and they are off and rolling to try to secure that wild card spot. Of course, the big thing last night wasn't Alex Cobb in lights-out pitching again. It was the last game of the Bronx for Mariano Rivera. It was absolutely tremendous in the Rays, and Joe Madden first class. Would you expect anything any different? Today, the Rays go to Toronto to start their final weekend series. They need to win 2 out of 3 to secure that top spot in the wild card. The Yankees, meanwhile, go out to Houston to close out the season. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati battle it out for who's going to host the NL wild card game next week. Milwaukee and the Mets, Phillies and Atlanta playing out the string. And in the National Football League, bad news for the Giants. Both David Deal and Chris Snee are out for this game. So they are now down 3 starting offensive linemen. This is already on a team that's 0-3 against Andy Reid's team, who's 3-0. The New York Jets in Tennessee and the Eagles have the enviable task of going out to Denver to take on Peyton Manning and company. Hope you have a good weekend wherever you're watching football. Tonight's sports is brought to you by Mountain Speedway. Here's a look at this weekend's action. It's going to be busy. The grandstand opens up at 12 noon. Racing starts at 2. Just $10 for grandstand admission. Kids under 10 are free. And if you're active military or a senior, you get a $2 discount. There's the website and the phone numbers. You could call them and get all the information on the excitement of racing down at Mountain Speedway.
It's the last Friday in September. Tonight is game night, and this is Short Shots. Let's review. Last Friday night, the Hazelton Area Cougars defeated Williamsport quite easily, 30-7, to pick up its first win of the season. They're 1-3. It was the Cougars' first win in 2 years at Harmon Guy's Memorial Field while breaking a 9-game losing streak. Their last win was at Williamsport last season. The Millionaires extended their losing streak to 16. Tailback Zach Dukowski rushed for his career best 190 yards on 28 carries. Marion Catholic also won its first game of the season over Cornwall Egan Catholic 28-13 in hometown. The Colts are also 1-3. Quarterback KJ Snur threw for 180 yards in that one, which included 1 touchdown. Another high school score of local interest, Berwick defeated Wyoming Valley West 42-28 before over 10,000 people at Crispin Field in Berwick. Penn State defeated Kent State 34-0. Notre Dame beat Michigan State 17-13. And number 1 Alabama beat Colorado State 31-6. A lot of non-Penn State fans get on Penn State for scheduling a lot of patsies before they start playing in the Big Ten. But other teams are doing it as well. Listen to some of these crap game scores from last Saturday. Baylor 70, Louisiana Monroe 7, Iowa 59, Western Michigan 3. Number 4 Ohio State embarrassed Florida A&M 76-0. Number 7 Louisville at 4-0 crushed Florida International 72-0. Miami buried Savannah State 77-7. Number 8 Florida State spanked Bethune-Cookman 54-6. And would you believe, game day on ESPN last Saturday was from Fargo, North Dakota to cover North Dakota State's 51-0 victory over Delaware State. Mother of God! The game of the day in Fargo, North Dakota. I don't think so. The real game of the day last weekend turned out to be Pitt 58, Duke 55, no OT. Maryland's 37-0 win over West Virginia was an eyeball raiser. And for the second week in a row, Michigan got a real scare as they squeaked past Connecticut 24-21. The eyeball raiser in the NFL was Carolina's 38-0 win over the 0-3 New York Giants. And the Washington Redskins are also 0-3. What else? Andy Pettit, who was retiring on Sunday, pitched a 2-hitter and lost. Mariano Rivera, who also was retired, pitched 1 2/3 innings of shutout ball in that loss. The Yankees were taken off life support this week by the Tampa Bay Rays. Going into week 4 of the NFL, the Patriots, Dolphins, Broncos, Chiefs, Saints, Bears, and Seahawks are 3-0, while the Jaguars, Steelers, Giants, Redskins, Buccaneers, and Vikings are 0-3. In Major League Baseball, the Braves, Cardinals, Dodgers, Red Sox, Tigers, and Athletics are division winners. The Cougars make it 2 in a row tonight. See you Monday. Till then, be a good sport and stay loose.
Well, just imagine the changes that a person born back in 1911 and who's still going strong today would have seen in their lifetime. Well, one local resident who turns 102 years young today can tell us all about it. Mike Madry was there as friends and neighbors celebrated her special day.
Not many people can say they've reached the milestone that Mary J. Roman reached today. She turned 102.
Well, I'm a very lucky girl, and I'm so happy, and thank God for all this very much.
Staff and friends at the Laurel Senior Living Center threw its oldest resident a birthday bash for her special day. As balloons marked the number 102 dangled from the ceiling, residents enjoyed some cake, listened to bands, and celebrated the day. For Mary Jane, who grew up in Hazleton, celebrating another birthday is something that still makes her happy after doing it 101 times.
I'm very grateful and happy for my special day.
The Laurel staff tells me that Mary Jane Roman has been here the longest out of any resident in history. She's been here since August of 2003. So what's the magic secret to still going strong at 102? Well, Mary Jane says she doesn't have one, but the activity director at the Laurels, who has known Roman for years, and says part of it might have to do with the stress-free type lifestyle Roman has made for herself.
She's a nice person. She's caring about everybody. She is set in her ways, and like I said, she's been single. She has no kids. She's never been married, and she's 102 years old.
No kids, no husband, no worries for the 102-year-old Mary Jane Roman. Do you have any big plans?
I don't know what else to say. What else could I say?
Happy birthday, Mary. Mike Madry, News 13, Hazleton.
And many, many more. Well, plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13. One local county plans to spend this weekend getting cleaner and greener. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.